Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cutting through the noise together on something really critical. It impacts all of us, especially younger people navigating, the online world. We're talking about social media defamation and non-consensual intimate content or revenge porn. We're going to do a deep dive using some key source material to give you clear, actionable insights on the legal side of things. It's complex, but really relevant.
It really is vital knowledge. Technology moves so fast, and the law is, often trying to keep up. So it's really important for you to be informed, to feel empowered. What we often find is that legal options are there. Knowing your rights, acting quickly, it makes a huge difference.
Okay, so let's unpack that. To really get a handle on this, we need clear definitions first. Let's start with defamation. In India, that's covered by sections 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code, the IPC. Essentially, it means making or publishing something that, damages someone's reputation. And what's striking isn't just the definition, but how easily it happens online. A quick share, a story, even just forwarding a WhatsApp message.
Exactly. That's what's fascinating, how easily those legal tests are met online. A casual comment, a share. It can blow up because information spreads so fast, so widely, way beyond who you thought might see it.
That spread sounds incredibly risky. Do people often misunderstand what actually counts as defamation online? Like maybe thinking private chats are okay?
Oh, absolutely. That's a common one. People think, oh, it's just in a group chat or I deleted it straight away. But legally, the moment it's published, seen by someone else, a third party, it potentially counts. But like you said, deleting doesn't always help. Screenshots, they stick around. That digital footprint is more permanent than we think.
Right, the permanence factor. Okay, so from defamation, let's pivot to another really serious online threat. Non-consensual intimate content, often called revenge porn. This falls under Section 66E of the IT Act, the Information Technology Act. It specifically targets violating privacy, so knowingly capturing or sharing someone's intimate image without their consent. And the penalties are serious. Up to 3 years in jail, a fine of up to 2 lakh. Our sources also mention Section 67C, which deals with distributing obscene material, also carrying heavy penalties for this kind of content.
And it's crucial to understand these aren't just, social missteps causing embarrassment. They have real legal weight. The laws exist precisely because the harm is profound, often lasting. It's treated as a criminal act, not just a private dispute.
That's a critical distinction. So the law acknowledges the deep harm. Okay, knowing the definitions is step one. But seeing how they play out in court really brings it home. Let's look at some real-world examples. We found a compelling case on social media defamation, XYZ versus ABC, from 2022. It involved a teenager falsely accusing a classmate of theft on Instagram, WhatsApp, pretty standard platforms, and the victim suffered significantly. Reputation damaged, lost job opportunities, real consequences from false online claims.
Yeah, and the court's response was quite clear in that one. The defendant had to remove all the posts, issue public apologies, pay damages 1 lakh, and even served a month of simple imprisonment.
Wow.
What that really tells us, the bigger picture, is why the court acted so decisively. 3 key things. The accusation was proven false, it was shared widely, amplifying the damage, and crucially, it caused real psychological and social harm. It wasn't just online noise.
That sends a strong message. Online actions, real-world penalties. Now switching to non-consensual content. We found the case PQR versus partner from 2023. Here, an ex-partner leaked explicit images of his former partner, maliciously, sent them to over 100 people. The outcome for the woman was devastating. Socially ostracized, severe depression, just awful.
Absolutely awful. And the court convicted the perpetrator under sections 67C and 66E. He received 2 years imprisonment and a 1 lakh fine. This verdict really shouts a powerful message. Sharing intimate content without consent is not a private issue or a minor wrong. It's a serious criminal offense, punishable by law. Digital spaces aren't the Wild West.
Okay, so we have the laws, we see the consequences in court. The vital question now is, what can you, listening right now, actually do? Especially if you're young, living a lot of your life online. The core message seems to be, social media feels like a playground, right? Fun, photos, videos. But one single post taken out of context, one rumor, one leaked image, it can go viral and stay online pretty much forever. And here's a statistic that really hits hard. Over 90% of revenge porn victims are women under 30. That's not just a number. It represents lives turned upside down. Blackmail, needing therapy, even dropping out of school or college.
And that point about deletion is so important. You hit delete, but it might already be too late. Screenshots are forever. And this is the empowering part, knowing about these legal protections. That's your key.
Yeah.
It lets you take informed action, protect yourself. It really makes you pause and ask, doesn't it? What does your digital footprint actually look like? How protected are you, really?
Absolutely. It really makes you think that a single click, a single share, could have such massive life-altering fallout. So let's get practical. What steps can you take? Let's break it down. Proactive steps before anything happens and immediate actions after harm occurs. Okay, prevention first. What came through strongly? Prioritize privacy. Lock down those settings. Seems basic, but crucial. And our sources had some stark advice on intimate pictures. Only share them if you are legally committed. That's a strong statement, underlining the huge risks involved, legally and personally.
It is strong advice, yes.
Yeah.
Reflects the potential severity.
Also, never upload original files of sensitive content. And always think twice before posting anything. Ask yourself, could this be misunderstood? Could someone misuse this? And maybe the most practical tip, document everything. If you see something concerning, screenshot it. Note the date, the platform. Keep records.
That documentation is vital if things escalate. Okay, so what if prevention fails? What if something does happen? You have immediate steps. First, file an FIR, a first information report with the police, mention the relevant IPC and IT Act sections, then send a formal legal notice demanding removal and an apology. Use the cyber cells. Many Indian states have dedicated teams, often quite responsive for these kinds of issues, and you can pursue legal action. File a defamation suit or a criminal complaint, depending on the situation.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about content on big international platforms? Facebook, Instagram, Google. Does that make it harder?
That's a really common question. But these big tech companies, they do have grievance mechanisms. They have reporting portals, online forums, specifically for this kind of harmful content. You should definitely use those. And importantly, Indian courts can issue orders requiring platforms to block access to illegal content, even if it's hosted internationally. So you do have recourse. These proactive steps, acting fast, that's your best defense in this digital age.
It feels a bit like the law is constantly racing to catch up with technology, though. How effective are these legal responses right now? Are they enough?
That's a fair point. We are seeing positive movement. Courts are taking stronger stands. Awarding jail time, ordering compensation, those are significant deterrents. It sends a message. But there are challenges. The legal process itself can be daunting. Cases have to actually reach court. And sadly, we know many victims drop out midway. It's emotionally draining, sometimes costly. Plus, our sources specifically mentioned the penalty under Section 67C perhaps being too low, suggesting room for legal reform there. And beyond the courts, there's a huge need for wider public awareness, more education, faster, better resource cybercrime units across the board, educational programs in schools, tackling it before it even happens.
Right, a multi-pronged approach. So let's try and wrap this up. What are the core takeaways for you listening? First, respect yourself, protect your privacy fiercely. It starts there. Second, think critically. Question everything before you share it online. Pause. Third, if you are violated, act fast. FIR, legal notice, cyber cells, don't delay. Fourth, seek help. Cyber experts, lawyers, mental health professionals, you don't have to go through it alone. And finally, spread awareness. Talk to your friends. Knowing this is a crime makes a difference for everyone.
Exactly. Remember, online abuse isn't something you just have to put up with. It's not okay. The law is evolving to protect you, and you are definitely not alone in facing these issues. Share what you've learned today. Seriously, your awareness could genuinely help someone you care about avoid major trouble.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. As our digital and physical lives become more intertwined, that tension between online freedom and real-world accountability, it's only going to grow. Maybe the thought to leave you with is about our collective responsibility. How do we all contribute to making these online spaces safer? Something to think about. Stay informed, stay protected, and we'll see you next time.